Gentlemen, it's now time for Give Me Five. When I heard that President Barack Obama was going personally to the funeral of Shimon Peres, the former Prime Minister of Israel, I knew something was up. He spoke for about 20 minutes today at the funeral in Jerusalem, and you could tell by the speech, the eulogy, the selected quotes that he took from Peres, his own little commentary, his own context. He was digging at Israel, digging at the Jewish state, digging at Prime Minister Netanyahu, and blaming the Israelis, in my view, for the fact that there's no peace. Watch.
I don't believe he was naive. But he understood from hard-earned experience that true security comes through making peace with your neighbors. We won them all, he said of Israel's wars. But we did not win the greatest victory that we aspire to: release from the need to win victories.
Well, that's true. And why is that? Well, Israel has been attacked time after time after time. Israel's never started a war. Israel gave up the Gaza Strip to the Palestinians, and what did? They turned it into a mess, and they launched rockets from there, from hospital rooftops, from hotel rooftops, from school rooftops. And then when Israel responds in self-defense and hits those rocket launchers, oh, they hit a school, oh, they hit a mosque, oh, they hit a hotel. Well, you put the rockets there, that's what's going to happen. So, right, Israel has not seen peace. It's not Israel's fault. It's the fault of their enemies that surround them. Most notably of late, of course, the Palestinians, who teach their children to kill the Jew, who teach their children through their textbooks and through their television shows, their version of Sesame Street, where they use Mickey Mouse. We're going to kill the Jew and take Jerusalem with our blood. I've played that on the air for years. Nice, isn't it? More.
And just as he understood the practical necessity of peace, Shimon believed that Israel's exceptionalism was rooted not only in fidelity to the Jewish people, but to the moral and ethical vision, the precepts of his Jewish faith. The Jewish people weren't born to rule another people, he would say. From the very first day, we are against slaves and masters. Implication:
Israel is enslaving the Palestinians, because that's how this man thinks, because that's how Rashid Khalidi, his buddy, who he was at an event with before he ran for president, and reportedly the LA Times had a tape of them making anti-Israel jokes, or worse, and they never released that tape, if you recall. Rashid Khalidi, that's it, Rashid Khalidi, excuse me. So it continues.
Out of the hardships of the diaspora, he found room in his heart for others who suffered. He came to hate prejudice with the passion of one who knows how it feels to be its target.
Yep. And then it gets better. Watch.
Even in the face of terrorist attacks, even after repeated disappointments at the negotiation table, he insisted that as human beings, Palestinians must be seen as equal in dignity to Jews and must therefore be equal in self-determination. Because of his sense of justice, his analysis of Israel's security, his understanding of Israel's meaning, he believed that the Zionist idea would be best protected when Palestinians, too, had a state of their own.
Palestinians will never have a state of their own until they stop inciting violence against Jews, calling for killing of Jews, hating of Jews, teaching that to their kids, rewarding suicide, homicide bombers with soccer stadiums and streets named after them, and parades down the street, and money to the families of these murderers. That's what the Palestinian society is. They celebrate the murderers of Jews. They teach their children to kill the Jew. How do you give those people a state? next to yours if you're a Jewish state? How? One more.
Of course, we gather here in the knowledge that Shimon never saw his dream of peace fulfilled. The region is going through a chaotic time. Threats are ever present. And yet he did not stop dreaming, and he did not stop working.
All right. I told you there was a nefarious reason he went. Hey, don't go anywhere. My Newsmax TV colleague J.D. Hayworth is next, and we're going to pick up where I left off. Donald Trump, Alicia Machado, the sex tape controversy. That's on Newsmax Prime coming up momentarily. Don't go anywhere.